There are moments in life when the very ground beneath your feet gives way. When the familiar comfort of your home, your community, your entire way of life is swallowed by an unforeseen catastrophe. For the Chen family, Liam and Anya, and their two young children, May and Kai, that moment arrived with brutal, unforgiving force. A devastating flood, unprecedented in its fury, engulfed their town, taking with it not just their possessions, but the very sense of security and belonging they had spent a lifetime building. They stood before the watery ruins, stripped of everything, facing a terrifying void. How do you rebuild when your foundation is gone, when your past is submerged beneath mud and debris? How do you move forward when every direction seems like a path through ruins? The world offered pity, but pity felt hollow in the face of such profound devastation. They were disoriented, grieving, and utterly overwhelmed, convinced that their joy had been extinguished, their dreams replaced by the chilling reality of starting over from absolute zero. It seemed as though hope itself had been washed away. But what if, even amidst the wreckage of complete devastation, the human spirit possesses an extraordinary capacity to rise? What if true strength isn't about avoiding hardship, but about confronting it head-on together with an unyielding will to rebuild, not just a house, but a life stronger and more vibrant than before? This is the extraordinary, raw, and utterly triumphant story of the Chen family. It's a testament to the quiet suffering many endure, the profound courage it takes to face unimaginable loss, and the remarkable journey of how they rebuilt their lives after disaster. Prepare to be incredibly moved, because this is a heartfelt chronicle about the unyielding power of love, community, and fierce determination. Liam and Anya had built their lives around a deep connection to their small riverside town. Liam was a local schoolteacher, deeply respected in the community. Anya ran a bustling little bakery, filling the streets with the aroma of freshly baked bread. Their children, May, a curious 7-year-old, and Kai, a spirited 5-year-old, spent their days playing by the riverbanks, their laughter echoing through the trees. Their home, a charming old house passed down through generations, was filled with warmth, family heirlooms, and the comfort of shared history. It was their sanctuary, their legacy, a place where roots ran deep. Their life was simple, predictable, filled with shared meals, community events, and the comforting rhythm of their daily routines. They felt connected, secure, believing that their bond and their connection to their land could weather any storm. They were looking forward to summer, to river swims, to picnics by the water. The river, their constant companion, was a source of joy and life. Then, the world shattered. It was an ordinary spring, but heavy rains, relentless and unprecedented, had swollen the river to dangerous levels. Warnings were issued, evacuations urged, but the speed of the rising waters caught many off guard. Liam and Anya, with their children, tried to leave, but the roads quickly became impassable. Their home, once a safe haven, was rapidly surrounded, then engulfed by the raging floodwaters. The next thing Liam remembered was chaos, the terrifying roar of water, the cracking sound of their home's foundation, Anya's desperate cry. They were forced to climb onto their roof, clutching May and Kai, watching in horror as their beloved house, their entire street, disappeared beneath the churning, muddy current. The water rose relentlessly, carrying away everything they owned, everything they cherished, everything that defined their past. They were rescued hours later by a Coast Guard helicopter, cold, soaked, and utterly traumatized. They looked down from above, seeing their entire town submerged, a landscape of destruction. Their home, a place of so many cherished memories, was gone, reduced to a submerged wreck. All their possessions, all their heirlooms, all of Sophia's drawings, all washed away. They had lost everything. Their entire life, their entire future, had been obliterated in a single devastating night. They were left with nothing but the clothes on their backs and the profound, chilling silence of loss. The aftermath was a blur of unimaginable pain and disorienting chaos. They were safe, alive, but utterly without a home, without possessions, without even a clear path forward. They were moved to a temporary shelter, a gymnasium filled with other bewildered families, all grappling with their own losses. Sophia and Kai, traumatized, clung to their parents, their eyes wide with fear, asking repeatedly, "Where's our house? Where are our toys?" Their questions were a constant, painful reminder of their profound emptiness. Liam and Anya felt a crushing guilt. They had survived, but what now? They returned to their neighborhood days later, wading through knee-deep mud, surveying the wreckage of their lives. Their home was a skeletal frame, filled with debris, shattered dreams, and the pervasive smell of mildew and decay. There was nothing left to salvage. Only mud, water, and the haunting silence of what once was. The initial outpouring of sympathy from their community, though heartfelt, eventually faded, replaced by the grim reality of rebuilding from absolute zero. Insurance was a bureaucratic nightmare, complicated by the unprecedented nature of the flood. The financial strain was immense. They faced overwhelming debt, rebuilding costs, and the crushing reality of starting over without a single possession. Liam's school was damaged, Anya's bakery destroyed. Their livelihoods, their sense of purpose, were gone. Ricardo, his strong hands now idle, felt profound despair. He was a builder, but he couldn't even rebuild his own home. Maria, who had always found joy in creating, now felt utterly devoid of inspiration, her spirit as broken as the charred remains of her garden. They saw their small daughter struggling, her once bright spirit dimmed by the trauma, and their hearts ached with a pain deeper than their own. They argued, born from exhaustion, stress, and the sheer weight of their grief. Their relationship, once unshakable, felt strained under the relentless pressure. They knew they had to be strong for Sophia, but the strength felt impossible to find. They were two lost souls, trying to navigate a new reality that seemed to offer no hope, no direction. They questioned their future, their purpose, their very existence. They believed their joy had been extinguished, replaced by a relentless cycle of struggle and despair. They were living in the ashes, consumed by what they had lost. The despair threatened to consume the Chen family entirely. But even amidst the mud and the ruins, a tiny seed of hope, watered by the unwavering spirit of their community, began to sprout. Their neighbors, though equally devastated, started to rally. They shared what little they had, offered spare rooms, helped clean out ruined homes. It wasn't a formal aid effort. It was simply human kindness, a spontaneous outpouring of solidarity. One afternoon, as Liam and Anya stood dejectedly in front of their ruined house, a group of old friends, neighbors, and former students arrived, armed with shovels, buckets, and an unwavering resolve. They were a mix of familiar faces and even some strangers from nearby towns who had heard about the devastation. "We're here to help," one friend said, his voice firm. "We'll clean. We'll rebuild. Together." That was the turning point. Not a magical solution, but a profound realization. They were not alone. Their community, though shattered, was still there. A living, breathing network of support. Liam, a natural leader, began organizing volunteers, coordinating efforts. Anya, drawing on her bakery experience, started organizing meal rotations for the cleanup crews. They channeled their grief, their frustration into action. Every shovel of mud cleared, every salvaged item, every shared meal was an act of defiance against the despair. They learned to lean on each other. Their neighbors offered not just physical labor, but emotional support. They shared stories of their own losses, their own fears, but also their shared determination to rebuild. The children, May and Kai, initially withdrawn, slowly began to find comfort in the bustling activity, in the familiar faces, in the quiet reassurance of their community. Other families, seeing the Chen's unwavering spirit, found their own courage to begin the daunting task of rebuilding. Local businesses, though struggling, offered what they could. A hardware store donated tools. A restaurant offered free meals for volunteers. A group of local carpenters, led by Liam's old friend David, volunteered their time to help clear wreckage and assess structural damage. This wasn't just a cleanup. It was a profound act of collective healing, a reaffirmation of their shared humanity. They were not just rebuilding houses. They were rebuilding trust, connection, and the very fabric of their shattered community. Liam, using his teaching skills, organized a temporary school in a donated community hall, ensuring the children's education continued amidst the chaos. Anya, with the help of fellow bakers, started a small community kitchen, baking bread and meals for volunteers and displaced families, turning their shared grief into a source of comfort and sustenance. Their hands, once burdened by loss, were now busy creating, nurturing, rebuilding. The emotional scars were deep, but the physical work, the shared purpose, the unwavering support of their community slowly began to mend them. They understood that rebuilding was not just about bricks and mortar. It was about rebuilding spirits, one shared smile, one helping hand, one act of kindness at a time. They learned that in the face of immense adversity, their greatest strength lay in their unity, in their love for each other, and in the profound power of community. Years later, the Chen family stood before their new home. It wasn't an exact replica of their old house, but something more profound. It was a testament to their unwavering spirit, their courage, their love, and the boundless strength of their community. Built on higher ground, with more resilient materials, it was a symbol of lessons learned, of challenges overcome, of a future forged from the ashes of devastation. Their once ruined street now buzzed with life, with newly built homes, with vibrant gardens, a testament to a community that had refused to be defeated. Liam returned to teaching, now with a deeper understanding of resilience and empathy, often sharing his family's story as a testament to the power of perseverance. Anya reopened her bakery, expanded and revitalized, a symbol of hope and fresh beginnings for the entire town. May and Kai, now vibrant teenagers, carried the wisdom of their experiences, their gratitude for their community, and an unshakable belief in the power of human connection. The Chen family became advocates for disaster preparedness and community resilience, sharing their story across the country, inspiring other communities facing similar challenges. They spoke of the importance of solidarity, of collective action, of finding strength in shared vulnerability. They proved that a family, united by love and an unyielding spirit, could rebuild from absolute zero, finding new purpose, new joys, and a profound appreciation for every moment. Their strength wasn't about pretending the disaster didn't happen. It was about acknowledging it, learning from it, and using its painful lessons to build a stronger, more compassionate future. Their home, once reduced to ashes, was now a beacon of hope. Their family, once shattered, was now an unbreakable force. They learned that profound loss doesn't have to be an ending. It can be a fiery crucible that forges a new beginning, a chance to build a life far richer, far more purposeful than they could have ever imagined. They showed the world how they rebuilt their lives after disaster, not just surviving, but truly flourishing, leaving a legacy of resilience and hope. If the Chen family's incredible story of how we rebuilt our lives after disaster touched your heart, if it reignited a spark of resilience, or reminded you of the profound power of community in difficult times, Please take a moment to like this video. Your likes help us share these powerful true stories of strength and triumph with more people who need to hear them. And if you're moved by true tales of the human spirit, extraordinary courage, and life's beautiful transformations, be sure to subscribe to Heartfelt Chronicles. We bring you inspiring stories every week that remind us that even after losing everything, you can still build a new and beautiful life. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss another journey with us. Have you or your community ever faced a disaster and found strength in rebuilding? What lessons did you learn from the experience? Share your powerful experiences and thoughts in the comments below. Let's create a space for support and shared understanding. Thank you for watching. And remember, from the ashes of hardship, new life can always bloom, stronger and more beautiful than before. See you in the next video.